Welcome along to another opposition preview, the show that brings you low down on Saints' next opponents. It is a familiar face once again this Sunday. Saints travel up to Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final to play Chelsea. So with me once again, Louis, 100% Chelsea. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you again.
I'm not bad, mate. Thank you very much. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm all right. Still a little bit heartbroken, but this FA Cup game can be a welcome distraction.
Yeah, I know. It's the FA Cup, innit? It's a day out at Wembley. Yeah, it's always nice. Obviously, I live 200 yards from the stadium, so I've been seeing everything going up and seeing them putting all stuff up, and I'm getting a bit of FA Cup fever. When me and Lewis arrived back at 5 a.m. this morning, thanks to Thomas Cook. Thanks, guys. We were greeted by obviously the sun rising. The arch was up in front of us, and you saw "Welcome to the FA Cup" just at the top of Wembley Park. So it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, let's start at the beginning of the week then, mate. You've just won 3-2 after 2-0 down at St Mary's. I mean, how much did it mean to you to win it in that fashion, considering the complete lack of effort from the Blues for the first 60 minutes?
Honestly, like we were saying the other day, it was astounding. Obviously, everyone wrote us off after 2-0 down. It looked like it was going to be one of the games like it was in the Bournemouth and Watford categories. But, you know, we came back, we showed fight, we showed a lot of bottle, and it shows that this team does have capability. However, I still feel, you know, I was a bit on edge going into Burnley. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I was looking at Burnley are, without doubt, a superb team. There's no doubt about it. They where they are with the budget they have, how much of a fantastic job Sean Dyche has done. This week was always going to be a tough one. And obviously, we thought that this game against you guys at St Mary's would have been such a pivotal circumstance in terms of how we would perform, how everything would develop that week, and you know, to be able to get back-to-back wins now at Burnley and at Southampton, one after being 2-0 down and one against the team which, let's quite frankly be honest, you know, it's been superb at home this season. I thought was absolutely brilliant for us.
Of course it was, though. Same man to break Saints' hearts. Olivier Giroud scores 2 on Saturday, but he wasn't the man to take all the headlines. It was the man in the middle, of course, Mike Dean. Complete incompetence, or on so many occasions actually on Saturday, waving Chelsea down the line 10 yards. We've already spoke about this, but I don't know if he played downright just incompetence or stupid, or just played blind for that blatant stamp, that rake on the back of Shane Long's leg from Marcos Alonso. He went on to have pretty much every part in all 3 goals. I mean, it would have been a totally different game if Marcos Alonso's foul and his assault would have been seen by Mike Dean.
Yeah, obviously. Well, it's a red card. Red cards change games. It's as simple as that. However, for me, obviously, now I've seen it post. Completely the right decision. You know, if you go down the back of someone's leg with your studs, that's it. It's game over. When we were talking about it after the game, it did look like Shane Long had been shot by a sniper from the stands. So, but you know, obviously now I've seen it back. It was the right decision. I think, you know, we are going to miss Marcos Alonso. There's no doubt about it. His crossing capabilities, his physicality, his dead ball specialty. You know, he's a superb player. However, Emerson Palmieri in the game against Burnley, I had no qualms. I think he's a superb backup. Supposedly, it was the best left back in the Serie A last season behind Alex Sandro. I wasn't so sold personally, but I think, you know, he's playing okay. It's a case of, for him, he's getting the fitness back, and he's starting to find his rhythm and get his pace in the team. And if he does all the simple stuff right, then, you know, he'll just develop, and gradually that's what you need to do. But, however, Marcos Alonso is going to be such a massive miss against you guys, because, like you said, he was involved in pretty much all 3 goals. He set up the winner with a fantastic cross. There's no doubt about it. Even if Emerson starts, I mean, Conte is renowned for his chopping and changing of squads, I guess is one way of putting it. I think that he may even start Pedro at left wing back. He may do something completely out of what maybe we'll consider the ordinary. But to be honest, we can never predict what the Evans going to be as a Chelsea fan nowadays.
First thing to pick up on that point at the beginning of that statement, Shane Long didn't really go down like a sniper. I think he went down a bit in like slow motion, went down in instalments, a bit like Fraser Forster earlier this season. Definitely wasn't as exuberant as Eden Hazard sometimes this season. But as you say, Marcos Alonso suspended for 3 games. He missed Burnley. I think that was more out rotation, but he definitely will miss Sunday. And as you say, Antonio Conte, you know, likely to ring a few changes. He made 6 at Burnley, omitting Hazard. Willian not in the starting 11 either. Obviously, 1 on Sunday. I mean, was that a fair testament on Thursday?
Realistically, I think The rotation was right. The players got rested. They got rested. They're going to be prepared. They're going to be fresh for FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. And I think, for me, Giroud is a no-brainer now. He's turned into a bit of a cult icon already at Chelsea. Obviously, the 2 goals to bring us back into the game against you guys. He's already been a sign of hope for a centre forward that we've had over the part since he arrived in January. So physical, so strong. He wins pretty much every single ball. And he brings the players in, and I think that works perfectly for us. I mean, Costa, that's what he did for us a lot of last season. Obviously, he would come deeper, he'd hold the ball up when you bring Hazard, Pedro, or Willian, whoever was playing on the wings, into play. And I think that's what's starting to materialise now. We're starting to see more of the dainty little flick coming off. We're starting to see more of the fancy passes and the smoothness of play starting to develop again. And I think we've got 2 superb Plan B strikers in Morata and Giroud. So it's just a case of, I think, finding who was the best out of the 2. And to be honest, right now, I think Giroud is the man that's going to lead the line for us in the FA Cup.
Well, that is not good news, I've got to say. We absolutely hate Giroud for all of the reasons that you've said already. But another 2 players, of course, Hazard, Willian, confirmed by Conte they will be back at Wembley on Sunday. Yeah,
I think these guys are going to be so pivotal to our style of play. For me, this season, I think January onward, potentially even November or December, Willian has been the most important player at Chelsea. He's been in a superb vein of form. He's shown his capabilities. He's been so direct, so powerful going forward, and he's going past defenders for fun. In terms of playmaking as well, he's been so pivotal. And let's be honest, our game plan is centred around Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard is a player which, if he doesn't perform well and he's playing, we don't perform well, because we are pretty much Team Hazard on some occasions. But I think it's a case of if he turns up, if Willian turns up, if Giroud turns up, I can only see it going one way personally.
Well, let's hope that we see the Hazard of the first 60 minutes at St Mary's that wasn't interested. But, a lot of fans as well, including yourself, convinced Antonio Conte this is his last season. I mean, what do you think his objectives are for something? Are you completely writing off a Saints win?
No, you know me. I never write anything off. I'm not one of those guys that's going to put something out there on the internet to say we're never going to lose, we'll be fine. No, it's not like that. It's a case of we are. Look, it's the FA Cup. As we were saying the other day, in the FA Cup, you cannot predict what's going to happen. I learned that the hard way a couple of years back. Took my brother to his first game, and it was Bradford. So it's a case of you can't say what is going to happen. It's probably, I think it's one of the only competitions where you can say that in the world. If you look at Spain, Italy, and other major leagues, our PSG is going to be in the final, or Real Madrid, Barcelona. There's always going to be one of the big boys. With this, with the way your season's gone, you wouldn't have said, Southampton are going to be in the semi-final of the FA Cup. I think that's a beautiful thing about it. And listen, if anyone gets to this stage in any competition, semi-finals, they deserve to be there. They've worked hard. They've done what they need to do to get to that stage. And quite frankly, everyone deserves a day out at Wembley if you get there.
Yeah, well said, mate. But I know you don't like predictions. You don't like doing them. But I have to push you for one, mate.
I'm going to go... See, I'm basing it off of the weekend because I'm not sure personally. I think do you reckon Charlie Austin will be in there?
Well, Mark Hughes admitted that he's probably going to make a few changes. He needs to freshen up the squad. So I expect Charlie Austin to start.
I'm going to go 2-2 in extra time.
Oh,
2-2 in extra time. We'll have to see extra half an hour at Wembley of all us holding our heads in our hands. I honestly, I think if Charlie Austin's there, he's a player I'm very scared of. I don't like playing Charlie Austin, the physicality, the kind of player he is. He just brings so much to a game. But if he does start, that's what I'll go for. If he doesn't start, I'm going to go 2-1 in 90 minutes for Chelsea.
A lot of us were anxious enough on Thursday. I think 2-2 into extra time, that'll break our hearts. But Louis, big thanks as always, mate.
Thank you for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
Excellent stuff. And if you want to go ahead and check out 100% Chelsea, go ahead and click on the link in the card or down below. In the description. Go ahead and leave us your predictions for our trip to the Wembley Stadium FA Cup semi-final, a welcome distraction from the Premier League.